Weekly on Gears.
Heaven. All right, time for Disi's Double D's on a Thursday afternoon. And of course, it's all to do with charity.
Okay, today the organization I've chosen for my dreams and donations on Disi's Double D's fits in perfectly on Ball's Visual Radio. It's the JAG Foundation. The JAG Foundation was established with the aim of keeping children off the streets, away from societal issues like gangsterism, drug abuse, and alcohol abuse. The JAG Foundation uses sport as the catalyst to provide children with alternative lifestyle choices, educating them and teaching them various life skills. The JAG Foundation is a registered non-profit organization founded by Mr. Gregory James in April 2007. Today we are very fortunate to be chatting to Gregory James to find out a little more about the JAG Foundation. Hi Greg, welcome to Gears on Ball's Visual Radio.
Hi, thanks very much.
Greg, could you please tell us a bit more about the JAG Foundation and what it's all about?
Yes, the JAG Foundation is, as you said, we started it in April of 2007. It's really a vision I had when I was living and working in Switzerland. I wanted to run the New York Marathon, and we had to choose a charity, and the charity I chose was the New York Roadrunners Foundation charity. And what they did is they got kids involved in the inner city of New York just to get them off the streets by just keeping them active 3 times a week, getting them to just run around the block and then setting certain goals and really giving these kids a whole lot of hope. And then over time, I just carried on supporting the charity, and when I came back to South Africa in 2006, I phoned them. I said I'd like to set up something similar in South Africa, and that's really how it started. But because also what really got me to change is up at about 2000, I managed to hit 120 kilograms, unfit and really not doing too much, and then started running marathons, and I saw what an impact it had on my life in terms of just what I was able to achieve, mentally more alert and more goal focused in terms of just having some kind of physical activity involved in my life.
So how does the JAG Foundation help people?
Right, so what we do is we get kids off the street. We involve them in many different sporting programs. We've got running programs, rugby programs, and cycling programs. So 3 times a week we get these kids all actively involved with proper coaches and really just set a whole lot of goals and that they need to achieve. So with the running programs, we'll get the kids to run and perform certain tasks, and then they'll accumulate the kilometers over a period of time, and then they get rewarded. So after 10 kilometers, they'll get a certificate in recognition of that achievement. Once they've managed to do 21 kilometers, they'll get a T-shirt, and once they've done 42 kilometers, they get a medal to say that they've achieved, that they've run a marathon. And during this whole process, you're teaching them life skills, because these kids really grow up in gang-infested areas, and they really have no hope. So all of a sudden, you're teaching them a different way of life. And for these kids to grow up in the areas they're growing up, seeing people being shot, stabbed, and killed, that's normal to them, whereas us living outside of those areas and in a different society, it's not normal to us. So as soon as you start educating the kids and letting them know that's not normal, so you start changing their lives.
You mentioned the running program. What other programs do you have at the moment?
Right, so the other big program is called JAG Rugby, where we get kids involved from the under 10 level all the way up to under 19 level, and really get them involved in playing rugby in an organized and structured manner. We'll get them in, so we organize matches for them with different schools within the Cape Town area, where they are then able to play, say, some of the top schools in Cape Town, and hence interacting with kids from different backgrounds. And that's really had a huge positive impact on these kids. One of our kids got offered a full scholarship at Bishops.
Oh, wow. And,
I mean, just watching this guy grow, this past term he went over to New Zealand on an exchange program, so he was there for 3 months. So all of a sudden, this child has seen a different way of life. He goes back every weekend back to Bonteheuwel, where he came from. He speaks to the kids that are living in the same area and really gives them hope. And these kids start achieving and striving for something different, whereas they had no idea what was on the other side. And that's what those programs really, that's what we achieve.
That's awesome. Greg, how can one donate if they'd like to?
if they'd like to, they can go to our foundation page, which is www.jagfoundation.org.za, and then there's a donation page, and then also they can volunteer to become coaches, and then we send them on proper coaching, because what our programs really need, we've got many kids that can help, but our biggest issue is really getting coaches. So people who've got time would like to volunteer and get involved with the kids. I mean, that's really where our biggest need is getting more and more coaches involved.
And are you only based in Cape Town at the moment?
No, so we've got programs running up in Diepsloot in Johannesburg with an alliance that we formed with My Africa to Kun. We've got programs running in the Free State. We've got programs running in KZN. So we've started really introducing where we coach coaches and hence really train them how to get the kids involved. So that's the main thrust of our program, is really to get as many people on the ground taking these kids and really changing their lives.
If people would like to volunteer to coach, how can they get hold of you? Also through your website?
Yes, they go through the website, and then there's the information section, and they can just send the email, and then we will respond within 24 hours.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much for chatting to us today, Greg.
All right, great. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Oh, sorry. There we go. The JAG Foundation. Thanks very much to Greg.
Just that website address again is www.jagfoundation.org.za.
All right, go and check them out. See if you can get involved. You know, maybe you also want to get fit, and maybe you do have the opportunity to coach something. I'm sure the young kids would greatly appreciate it.
At the next intersection, turn on Gears with Sasha Martinengo. Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.